Now, up against a hydra, Saito stands facing it with a sword in his hand. Just then, the monster gives out a loud roar, releasing slimy particles from its mouth. These slimy particles make Raelza scream in disgust, as she can't seem to handle slimy things. Since Raelza can't stand the monster, Saito is filled with a sense of responsibility to attack the monster on his own. This prompts him to charge at the monster without fear. Fortunately for him, just as he does so, Morlock shoots out a magical taser from his staff that causes the monster to feel pain. With the monster in pain, Saito causes the opportunity to strike in multiple times. While this goes on, Morlock continues to hurt the monster with the magic from his staff. Also, Lafa joins in and adds her magic to his to cause the monster as much pain as would prevent it from attacking. After that, the monster is drained of its energy, causing it to die. Since Lafa had assisted him with her magic, Morlock hands her a gold coin as a sign of his appreciation. Meanwhile, after successfully killing the monster, Saito cuts off its head to cook. When asked about it, he blurts out that he wants to take the monster's head to cook it. Hearing this, Raelza is shocked to her bones. Her shock is shared by Morlock, who wonders if he really wants to eat it. Furthermore, he reminds Saito of a time when he had eaten it during a famine, and how bad it had tasted. Their talks, however, do not bother Saito, who is adamant on cooking the monster's meat, urging them to just watch. Shortly after cutting off the monster's head, he goes to meet a friend of his to ask for needles. While she continues to think he intends to use them as poison for Raelza, he denies using them for that. Instead, he insists that she give him brand new needles. However, she still believes he wants to use them as a means of delivering poison, and asks if she should put some poison on them, further stating that it would be easier to give it to Raelza by getting her to drink it. This gets him wondering why she keeps bringing up Raelza's name. When he gets back to where he had left the others, he cuts the flesh of the monster with his sword. He intends to cut out some meat from the monster's stomach and grill it. Shortly after getting some raw meat, he pricks it with the needles he had earlier collected and gets it ready for the grill. While grilling, he lectures them on how to grill an eel, explaining how the meat has to be flipped while grilling to get rid of the fat. While they all wonder how he knows these things, he reveals that he has got a food handler certificate, which gives him an idea of how to cook. However, he isn't as good as a chef. After that, Saito gets done with the steak and it looks very delicious. When he gives some of it to Lafa and Morlock, they waste no time in grabbing a bite. In a split second, and upon tasting it, they both are thrilled about how good it tastes. Having tasted the meat, the two invite Raelza to have a taste. She, however, doesn't feel comfortable eating it, most especially since it's coming from Saito. After being convinced to taste it, she finally agrees and reluctantly takes a bite. When she does, the taste of it makes her feel like she is in another realm. With the taste being so good, Raelza continues to eat as much as she can. While Saito and Morlock watch her, seeing how the taste of Saito's steak has influenced Raelza, Morlock suggests that he opens a shop, promising that he will make a fortune if he does so. However, Saito declines since they can't hunt too many hydras and force them into extinction. Later that day, the four are faced with a treasure chest which has the potential of housing a lot of traps. Looking closely at the treasure chest, Saito suggests that they abandon it. He feels it was a waste and a risk, stating that he had been taught a valuable lesson in his encounter at the no magic area. However, they came across a treasure chest again, and Saito observes this for a while. Afterwards, he brings out his wire cutters and cuts the suspending wires of the treasure chest, one after another. With the first wire cut, Morlock and Lafa are very impressed since he easily cuts down the string wires which have been made by the elves. Having successfully cut down one of the wires, he tries another. This time, the cut wire causes the release of an acidic slime that melts metal. The slime is dropped on Raelza, whose metal armor is melted immediately, thus revealing her incredible body and large chest. Seeing her like this, they are all thrilled and left speechless. Raelza, on the other hand, is shy, since she isn't used to being seen outside of her armor. Meanwhile, an elven warrior and a female priest go up against a bunch of ogres. Unlike the other elves, she is unable to use magic. However, she makes use of the claws of her hands to punch the ogres. Then she kicks and grapples the ogres just after they cut her face. Seeing her injured face, the female priest runs up to her to heal her wounds using her healing powers. After that, the elven warrior continues to fight against the monsters while her partner heals her. However, she seems to have fallen in life with her partner as she uses every available opportunity to caress or feel her partner's touch, making it hard for the others to resist. On the other hand, the king and his minister sit in the place waiting for the arrival of a hero, who will do battle against the Demon King. Unfortunately for them, no one shows up. With no one available to fight, the king rises from his throne and heads out to fight himself. The outcome of this is clear, seeing how old and weak the king is. While heading out, he drops his crown, and while the minister tries to inform him about this, he ignores him and walks out. Shortly after the king leaves, some soldiers charge into the palace ready for a coup. They are met by the minister and inform him that they have been waiting for the king to leave in order to get a good chance at taking over the kingdom. Later on, the king returns from his ordeal and asks the minister if anything had happened while he was away. In response, the minister states that nothing bad happened. The king, however, finds this hard to believe after seeing the petrified bodies of some soldiers. He reminds the minister about his specialty, which is petrification spells, but he acts ignorant. Instead, he assures the king that they will be removed the next day. To change the topic, he asks about the Demon King who, at this time, is seated directly in front of the king, as they both enjoy a game of chess. Shockingly, the Demon King gains victory over him and demands to know when he will be executed. However, the king assures him that he will never do that, stating that he will never have a good conversation partner. To help the Demon King, the king clothes the Demon King as a respected knight, giving him the perfect disguise to escape. Later that night, Saito and the rest are camped. While trying to roast some food, Morlock seeks the help of Lafa to heal his back, but she refuses, stating that it isn't a wound. However, to convince her otherwise, Saito offers her a gold coin. Although she agrees to do this, she feels the gold coin should come from the patient himself. Then she flies to Morlock and heals him. Shortly after, Saito informs Relza about Lafa's supposed obsession for money. He is angry at the fact that they had split the treasure evenly, and Lafa seems to be taking more than she should. To give him a perfect answer to his doubts, Relza leads Saito to a part of the forest where he sees Lafa offering coins to the moon. At that moment, she tells him about Lafa's plight, which has forced her to give up gold coins to the moon goddess at various intervals. Apparently, Lafa is a moon fairy, and they were once so beautiful that they were proud of it. Their pride had earned them the anger of the moon goddess, who cursed and banished them to Earth. After that, they are forced to offer gold to the moon goddess on the night of the full moon, in order not to grow any smaller. Hearing her story, Saito feels sorry for her and offers to give her his share of his treasure to aid her. However, Relza informs him that Lafa doesn't like to receive charity more than anything. Upon hearing this, Saito understands that there are things even a handyman like him cannot fix. The next day, the crew are faced with another treasure chest. Just before they open it, Saito asks Lafa to cast a spell on him. He does this, mostly to have a reason to give her some coins. Meanwhile, when he asks for a blessing, Lafa informs him that it will cost him. Without wasting much time, Saito brings out a gold coin as payment. After thanking him for the gold coin, Lafa blesses him just as he had asked her to. Just then, he picks the lock of the treasure chest and opens it. When he opens it, he is disappointed at what he sees, and informs them that he has screwed up. While they are surprised since he had a blessing on him, their disappointment is short-lived when the box drags him and Relza in. At this point, Morlock realizes that they have just fallen into a teleportation trap. The two are transported to an underground opening. Seeing this, Relza recognizes it as somewhere underneath the labyrinth. However, she believes the others are where they had left them, since they have strong magical resistance compared to both of them. This makes her doubt the fact that they would fall victim to a teleportation spell. However, they come to realize just how bad the split is. Since they have no one with magic to figure out where they are, with no other choice, the two advance forward with no clue as to where they are going. Being left alone with Relza makes Saito consider just how useless he is. To further solidify his claims, he feels his only use has been to remind Morlock about his incantations. Due to this, he considers himself dead weight to Raelza, who is a fierce warrior herself. Shortly after setting out, the two are attacked by an iron golem. Observing the monster, Raelza realizes that it is fully wrapped in metal. She tries to find a perfect spot to deliver fatal strikes and does so. However, the monster stands strong, unyielding, and smacks her out of the way. When it advances towards them once more, Raelza rises on her feet and continues to fight against it. Seeing that they stand no chance against the monster, Saito rushes behind it and hops on its back. While this proves to be the perfect distraction, Saito finds his way to the head of the monster. When he gets there, he pours some of the slime which melts metal on it. Having done this, he screams, asking Raelza to finish him off, since his armor had not been taken off. Unfortunately, Raelza's strikes are not fast enough to prevent the monster from squeezing Saito in his hands. With every strike, the monster tightly grips Saito and eventually crushes him to death. Watching him in this state, Raelza is left to come up with a solution. While she thinks of a body preservation spell, she remembers that Morlock and Lafa are not there. Just then, she is reminded of a potion which Morlock had given her earlier called Drops of Life. In order to give it to Saito, she pours it in her mouth and passes it into his. When he wakes up, he is glad to see Morlock and Lafa. However, Lafa informs him about the sacrifice Raelza had to make by giving him a valuable magic potion. Furthermore, Raelza is left pretty embarrassed when Lafa tries to bring up the means in which Raelza had administered the potion. This gets Saito wondering what exactly is going on, most especially seeing how Raelza tries to prevent Lafa from saying anything more. Did you enjoy this recap? If you did, kindly like this video and subscribe to our channel, so we can bring you the recap of the next episode. Until next time, do take care and stay safe.